Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Christian from the Premiere here breaking down every episode of Black Mirror Season 6. I have to say that this season was absolutely incredible, and after I finished watching the show I was a little bit sad how I have to wait maybe 3 years for more episodes, because it's one of those shows that makes you think about the future of technology, but as well about how humans make good or bad decisions. So absolutely epic. Let's go ahead and break down the first episode. Joanne is awful, and I will go ahead one by one. So this episode focused on the woman named Joanne when she's choked to discover that a global streaming platform, aka Streamberry, and the show is Streamberry in real life, of course, is taking a hilarious commentary on Netflix. And there's a lot of Easter eggs to other episodes of Black Mirror, which was something nice to see, creating a TV drama adaptation of her life. So the twist is that she's portrayed by the iconic Hollywood actress Salma, and that was hilarious. I love the actress in this episode. Now, something that we see throughout the series is the new streaming platform Streamberry. We saw that throughout the episodes in the first one as well in the third one. So that was nice to see something that is connecting all the episodes together. So the concept for this episode, Joanne is awful, centers around Joanne, an average woman played by Annie Murphy, who discovered that her life has become a TV show on the Streamberry platform. The show features Salma portraying Joanne in the streaming series, so that was so hilarious. But also in the real life, there's Salma. As the episode airs, Joanne's life begins to unravel with her relationship. The creator explained about how this idea came to be, where he explained that an average woman unexpectedly gaining attention in the media for mundane reasons. The idea of people watching their own experiences portrayed by celebrity actors, it sparks the final concept from what we can see about this episode. You can imagine someone playing your life and doing the mundane things that you do, like going to work and the drama in your life. Because hey, we have a lot of problems or situations in our life that it will play for drama for other people, as we get to see in this episode. And what we see at the end when the CEO of Streamberry shows all the different awful seasons that they want to go ahead and do. Imagine like Pedro is awful, or Steve is awful. I imagine all the episodes like Angela is awful or Jimmy is awful. So we can see how this concept makes sense. And what we see in the episode is how they, everyone was watching it. So what happened in the episode is when the character of Joanne, which actually based on a real person, which Joanne is played by an actress in real life. So it's confusing, but it makes sense because the quantum computer is using all the information based on other people to come together. And there's actually a quantum computer that looks straight out like this. MKBHD did a video on this, so I was like, oh wow, this is actually possible, that it can create simulations and world and characters that believe they're real, like we get to see here. But in the scene where the characters are inside the Streamberry building discussing the computer system that generates content for the platform, they mention how the computer, a quantum computer, is capable of creating infinite content and rendering fully edited programs in a short period of time. This actually comes to the idea, if it's possible in our life, with AI, with voices that sound human, with all these things coming together, it's actually possible that we're closer to this than we ever been before. So this season a lot focus on those little symbolism. The show mentions how the content created by the system focus on the weak, selfish, or craven moments of individuals, self-perception, and drives engagement. The characters also discuss the concept of different versions of Joanne and explain that the main character is an adaptation of real Joanne's life. As the season progresses, the characters realize that they are a fake universe with different levels of reality. They discuss that the nature of their existence and the fact that they are portrayed by digital likeness or actors within the show. They contemplate destroying the quantum computer, as it would impact the billions of simulated souls within this fictive universe. The real human Joanne decides to destroy the quantum computer to help Annie, who played her character within the show, and the scene transitions to real human Joanne reflecting on her own life and how she feels like the main character in her own story. The final moments of the scene involve conversation between Abby and Joanne, where they appreciate their connection for each other. This scene delves into the complex nature of characters and the Streamberry platform and explore existential implications for the characters involved. It showcased the surreal and mind bending aspect of what could be possible in our society. So, yes, this episode was definitely one that has more impact on what we're going through today. And with Apple actually doing something so similar to this, it makes sense and possibly we may see this in the future. So that's scary. Moving into episode 2, and this one was crazy. So Davis and Pia are a young couple who have traveled to Scottish town to begin work on their documentary, and they're filled with enthusiasm, and they're looking forward to capturing the landscape and doing the documentary. And hey, this it was nice, so far so good. Then they meet one of the friends of David and has some information about some of the events that happened in the past in the town, including the evil serial killer that did horrible crimes in the town, and a couple that was in their honeymoon. And this is where the search for all the information and investigation comes through. Pia suggests David to do a documentary on this because it has more impact on the events of the town. As the story unfolds, they become increasingly intrigued by the case. They learn that the investigation that happened and having a hidden dungeon and the evidence or torture and murder. So all of that it become really interesting. And the huge twist about this episode, which I was blown away. I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that at all to all the episodes that had happened in this season. And is that the mother and father of David are actually working with the serial killer, so they were part of it. And when they discovered it, when this Pia discovered this was huge. It changed the documentary. And hey, it also was published on Streamberry. But what happens is that, as you can see in the episode, the mother gave all the tapes and all the different things that they did together, which was like, whoa, that was not a twist that I was expecting. And that the father as well was working together. She provides all the evidence, and when Pia discovers this, she tries to go away. When she was calling, she accidentally gets hit by a rock and she dies. So it was a little bit sad. But the show and the episode has a deeper meaning than all of this, and it's how our discovery and our search for answers may have consequences in our life. The guy wanted to be successful, do a documentary, and as we get to see his fame and the documentary award that he got, means nothing when he cannot share it with his family and with those that he loved, which now they're dead, his dad, his mom, and his girlfriend. So does it bring a lot of meaning into his life? It has a meaning of how much we want something in life, but when we get it, the meaning of it is not something that we wanted. And that's what the show and this episode wanted to give to the audience. I absolutely love the episode as well. But that's episode 2. Let's go into episode 3. Okay, so episode 3, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a lot because this episode was, wow, I actually love this one as well. So moving into episode 3, Beyond the Sea, which I have to say is an epic episode. So we follow Cliff and David. They're 2 astronauts in space, and they're able to connect to a link to the replicas. So their real human body is in the spaceship, and the replica, which they're able to, transfer their consciousness into this replica, is on Earth. And all of them have, family, and all of them have a normal life. However, as we get to see what happens with David's family, which was heartbreaking, where this hippie goes into the house and killed all the family of David, it was something that moved the story forward and what happened because of this. And as we get to see how David goes, sad and depression, and something that the episode explore is being alone. And hey, he's actually in space. So when he's able to use the replica of Cliff and he sees, the trees and nature and all the meaning that we may not give, that's in our situation, or feel the sun and feel the wind, something that we take for granted, something that the episode wants to explore. However, because of this switch of the replica and David connecting to the link and the consequences of David using the link of Cliff, this brought a lot of consequences into the family between Cliff and his wife. As we get to see David gets an obsession with Cliff's wife, and how Cliff hates, like, you're not gonna go near her again. Something that happens, which I was not expecting at all. This season has a lot of twists, is that David decides to go to Earth while Cliff is on a mission out of out of the ship and kill his family. And it was a tragic ending because we get to see how he's like, hey, you're gonna deal the same situation that I am. It's not a good idea. It's not something good. And of course, Cliff is not able to go back to Earth because they're gonna feel that he did it as well. He's like trapped now with David in this spaceship in in the universe, which is like, wow, they have to live together now. And that's something that the episode explores, is how the consequences of one's action, we think we're doing something good, but hey, for others it's not something that is good. David wanted to deal with his depression and with his solitude as well as the grief that he had. He thought the way that to do it was to go back to Earth to distract his mind. However, this brought more of what he didn't have. And that's the meaning of this episode. To be honest, this one was my favorite, but episode 4 and 5 were also good, which I'm going to go ahead and discuss episode 4. Okay, so episode 4 is focused on the character of Macy Day. She's an actress or celebrity, and it has become a target of the paparazzi, including the character of Bo, played by Sassy. And they follow her just to capture her, a picture of her. And the storyline revolves how Macy, was involved in a car accident, and the public believe that she has suffered a mental breakdown. But we soon discover what really happened with the character, and this was a twist that I was not expecting at all. And something that I love about this season is a twist that you're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. And one of those twists is how throughout the episode, we see how she wants to take pictures of her. She has bills. She has, she's not able to cover her expenses, but she feels the character of Bo sees the consequences of being a paparazzi and taking pictures of celebrities, and that, what paparazzi do to be able to get an attention or a perfect shot. So this episode has a lot of, the consequences of celebrities and paparazzi taking picture of them, something that we have in our daily life. That's something that happens every day. Celebrities, like we see with Tobey Maguire fighting a celebrity, because they're human beings and you don't want a paparazzi all day taking pictures of you. So even though Bo wants, have responsibilities, she wants to take a picture of her. But she investigates and she finds herself that she is actually going through a withdrawal because she is an addict, a drug addict. But we soon discovered that that's not what was happening. And what's happening is that she's a werewolf. So that sounds crazy. That sounds so cool. But it's like, what's the twist about this episode? That Macy is a werewolf. And yeah, it works. It works with the context of the story. Something that you wanted to take a picture of. Yeah, it was the opposite of what we thought was going to happen. So this one as well is one of my favorite episodes. All episodes 5 were incredible, and I'm blown away by the success of this season. Now, the last episode, which also was kind of epic, and it has a lot of symbolism about doing the right and doing the wrong. And it focused a lot on the character of Nita in England in 1979, and how she discovers a talisman that allows her to communicate with a demon, and what she has to do to stop the apocalypse and to stop destruction. She has to kill 3 people by 12, and the reason why she has to do that, because if not, then the nuclear war is gonna happen. So throughout this is a dilemma of killing people, and finding the people that she's gonna kill are evil, or some of them are not evil, as we saw with the serial killer, that she was not able to kill him as count as one because he already killed someone. So there were some rules. However, we get to understand more that the rules change. So I thought the apocalypse was the rules change. The demon doesn't know the rules because they continue to change it. So it was such a nice episode. It was so different, something that I thought, oh wow, is she gonna do it? What's gonna happen with the apocalypse? And we get to see the consequences of this, where she decides to go with the demon to the eternal void. I'm not sure why, because there's nothing else to do in the world now that is destroyed. But yeah, this one is of course separate from the universe of Black Mirror, as we see Streamberry connects a lot of the things that has happened in the past. So this one I feel is it's in a different earth, where this one connects to other episodes that we have to get and find more information. But that's the season. That's are the 5 episodes. I wanted to discuss them, give you my thoughts on them. on them. It was epic. I absolutely loved this season. I wanted more, and there's a ton of Easter eggs. So maybe I do a Black Mirror 6 full Easter eggs video soon. So hey, let's see how this video goes. But what are your thoughts on this season? Leave your comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Christian from BM Premiere, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.